It's time to sue Governor Gavin Newsom and other Democrat legislators in Sacramento over their illegal and unconstitutional redistricting scheme. Coming up, I'll share details about what we're planning to do. Plus, we've got intel on the Democrats' manipulated maps, and we have identified the 5 Republican districts they plan to rig and eliminate in this upcoming election. All that and more, and how you can help us fight back. I'm Carl DeMaio, chairman of Reform California and a California state legislator. We are continuing to cover the drama around the redistricting scheme that Governor Gavin Newsom and other Democrats have concocted here in California. And before we go forward, we're going to cover the legal challenges that we think are quite strong to stop Newsom in court. Well, if we had honest justices at the California Supreme Court, and that's a big if. And of course, we've got details on the 5 districts that Newsom and Democrats are trying to eliminate. But let me put right on the table that I don't care what's going on in Texas. I don't care if Democrats are doing it or Republicans are doing it. I don't care if it's happening in Florida or California or anywhere in between. Redistricting should only be done by independent citizen commissions, and it should only be done on a nonpartisan basis. Enough of this gerrymandering. I don't think it is right, no matter where it's done. And I'm hoping that you also will have that same position, because I know what's going on in Texas. I disagree with what's going on in Texas, but there's a big difference between what's going on in Texas and in California. In Texas, their maps were found to be unlawful by the federal courts. And so now they're being required to redraft the maps. I think what they should do is just hand it over to a citizens commission. I think that should be the standard across the country. But here in California, there is no federal lawsuit or federal legal reason to redraw the maps mid-cycle. And more importantly, we have a citizens redistricting commission already in place. So if you were going to redraw the maps, you have to have a good justification. In other words, the federal law must require that you do it mid-cycle. Can't just do it every couple of years if you feel the whim. But more importantly, it should never be done by politicians, because politicians should never be allowed to choose the voters. The voters should be choosing politicians. So that's the gold standard. And I'm hoping that all of us remain focused on that being our core central message as we fight Gavin Newsom's illegal, unconstitutional, and partisan scheme to try to manipulate districts for politicians. And we have to be ready to defeat him in this upcoming November 4th special election that they seem hell-bent on calling as part of trying to impose their scheme. We're going to get into the legal challenge and the 5 districts that are likely going to be eliminated. I'm curious to see if you live in one of these Republican seats. But first, we can't do this work alone. Whether it's formulating the legal strategy, educating voters, or defeating Newsom in this upcoming special election, we need your help. And there's 2 ways for you to help. Go to the website, reformcalifornia.org. That's our ground zero hub for our entirety of Reform California campaigns and efforts. While you're there, I need you to do 2 things. First and foremost, if you are not already signed up, in other words, if you're not already getting an email from me with our newsletter each week, please sign up, because otherwise, how are we going to get you the information about the upcoming campaign? We're going to have voter guides, door hangers. We're going to have rallies in every part of the state to turn out the vote, to harvest ballots, and to beat Gavin Newsom in this November election. The only way you can be part of this movement is to be engaged. Plug in by going to that website, signing up at the bottom, first name, last name, email, phone, and zip code, and you will be tethered into our growing movement statewide to take back our state from the left-wing insanity that it's currently gripped by. Second, please contribute whatever you can. There is a contribution button up on that website. Put in just $5. I like to joke around that, put gas in our tank. A California priced gallon of gas is $5.50. So put $5 in our tank. We cannot do this work without financial support from grassroots supporters like you. We certainly don't get government funding. We have no dark money, special interest PACs and lobbyists supporting us because they benefit from the corrupt system in Sacramento. Reform California is all about a citizens' revolt, and we are moving the needle like no other organization out there. Please join us. Either sign up and or contribute at that website, reformcalifornia.org. Okay, let me go through first the legal challenges to what Newsom is proposing. Newsom has announced that he doesn't like what Texas is doing. And so because Texas is redrawing its map, again, based upon the federal law requiring that it redraw its maps because they did not do their maps properly. They engaged in violations of the Voting Rights Act and 14th Amendment. So they have to redraw their maps for legal reasons mid-cycle. And that happens from time to time when a map is found unconstitutional and the Supreme Court or some other federal agency says, as part of the settlement, you're going to have to redraw your map. In California, none of that is happening. There is no legal federal justification for a redraw of the map. This is just Newsom on a whim saying, we're going to redraw the maps. Understand the difference between Texas and California as it relates to what's going on. Now, whenever maps are redrawn, it should be a citizens redistricting process. And that is also what's required here in California under our state constitution. So Newsom is saying, I'm going to just do this. There's no justification for doing it. There's no legal authority for him to do it. And not only am I not going to let the commission do it, we're going to draw the maps. The politicians are going to draw the maps. We're going to call a special election on the issue of redistricting. And then we're going to impose the map after the voters approve it. Here is the legal problem. Not only is there no basis in federal law for him to redraw the maps mid-cycle, but under the state constitution, the citizens have expressly prohibited Gavin Newsom and other politicians from even being involved in drawing of maps or in calling a special election for a mid-cycle redraw. Take a look at Article 21 of the California State Constitution. This is important because this language was put into the state constitution by a citizens' initiative. Signatures were gathered because the politicians, even Gavin Newsom, violently opposed the Citizens Independent Redistricting Commission, which draws these maps not based on politician input, but based upon nonpartisan feedback from communities. This language is a citizens initiative language that was added. This is a citizens revolt. And so when you look at violations of this language or changes to the language, the changes should only come from a citizens initiative as it relates to redistricting, because in our state constitution, we're already prohibiting the legislature from being involved in any sort of redistricting. Are you following me? This language says you're not allowed to be involved in any redistricting. So let me go through first and talk about timeline. It says by August 15th, 2011, and in each year ending in the number 1 thereafter, the commission shall approve maps. Now, it does not allow for any other timeline. So not only do we not have a federal justification for redrawing our maps, like we violated the law and the maps are wrong, they were found to be unconstitutional or in violation of the Voting Rights Act. No, we have no justification at the federal level to compel California to do this. This is a whim. Well, we don't allow whims. Article 21 says it only can be done every 10 years. Full stop. In 2011 and in each year ending in the number 1 thereafter, that's the only time we can do this. So the first legal challenge is that Newsom and the legislature are not allowed to act on this timetable. Second, Newsom and the legislature are not allowed to actually draw the maps. Here it says the commission shall do the work in section G. This is Article 21, section 2, item G. But Article 21, section 2, item E says that the creation of the map shall absolutely not take into consideration political party advantage. It says, quote, districts shall not be drawn for the purpose of favoring or discriminating against an incumbent political candidate or political party. Now, the reason why this is so important is Gavin Newsom and his fellow Democrat legislators have already stipulated that they've drawn maps to eliminate Republican districts. The evidence of that is overwhelming. We've got the smoking gun. They are out there at press conferences. They're out there at tweets. They're giving interviews to the newspapers saying, we're going to eliminate 5 Republican districts. They're breaking the law. They're violating the state constitution right now by creating districts. Number one, they're not allowed to do it on the timetable that they've selected. They're not allowed to do it, period. It has to be done by the commission. And third, they are not allowed to do it based on the fact that they are saying we're using partisanship, political party advantage as the motivator. Here's item E also. The place and residence of any incumbent or political candidate shall not be considered in the creation of the map. We have evidence to suggest that Mike McGuire, the Senate leader, basically did a corrupt bargain. He is all in on this map redrawing and giving support to it because he's helping draw a map for himself to run for Congress. Oh, you can't make this crap up. These people are wantonly, openly violating the state constitution, and no one in the media is questioning it. No one in the media. I urge the media, do your blanking job. Read Article 21. It is plain English prohibiting what you're basically saying. Now, who enforces this language? Sadly, the California Supreme Court. The same gulag of corrupt, compromised Supreme Court justices that deprived voters of a vote on the California Taxpayer Protection Initiative 2 years ago, that eviscerated the Citizens Initiative by saying, no, citizens collected all those signatures on the California Taxpayer Protection Initiative, but we're not going to let them vote on this initiative. We think it does too much. That same corrupt cabal ultimately would be considering this lawsuit in federal court, in state court. But we're going to have to sue Newsom anyway. And the reason why I'm also raising this is not just because we have to bring a legal case against Newsom and his cabal of law-breaking politicians, unconstitutional acting politicians, but because we need to educate the public as to the corrupt nature of what's going on. The more this smells, the more likelihood we are going to get a no vote in the November election to defeat Newsom. Don't get me wrong. I'm not putting my eggs all in the basket of legal challenges. I hope that the California Supreme Court does its job. It likely won't. But as we raise these issues and point this out and say that this can't be done by the legislature, if they want to do this, it has to be a citizens' initiative. Because citizens have taken and put in the handcuffs around the legislature and the governor from being anywhere involved in map drawing. So it means that you can't put this on the ballot. The legislature and the governor are prohibited from putting this on the ballot because they're not allowed to draw a map. It is plain English. You're not allowed to draw a partisan map either. They've already admitted their map is partisan. So the map itself is illegitimate. They can't adopt a map that is based on partisan considerations. They've already admitted we're trying to draw a map to draw out Republicans. Now, who are the Republicans they're trying to draw out? They've said they're going to get rid of 5 Republicans, and we've got the list. First up, Doug LaMalfa. District 1. This is the northern part of the state. What they plan to do is cut out places like Chico and then put in Marin County. So they're going to stretch his district all the way down to San Francisco, the Bay Area. And that means Doug LaMalfa's district will be manipulated. Democrats win it. And guess who gets that district? That's right. State Senator Mike McGuire, same guy that is actively involved in map making. Thug criminal. Mike McGuire, corrupt to the core. Then they're going to go after Kiley, District 3. This is a district that is in Central California. You can see it right here. It goes all the way down along the Nevada border. What they will do is draw in more blue areas up here in the Sacramento area. and cut out some of the Republican areas, probably giving that to Jay Obernolte. And Kylie's district will be eliminated. Not hard to do. McClintock, probably safe because they'll pack in a bunch of Republican voters from Kylie's district and Valadeo's district into that seat. Then go down here to Valadeo. Valadeo is also in the Central Valley. Look for his district to scoop up more Democrat areas and less Republican areas. Jay Obernolte is going to be safe. His district will go from R+8 to probably R+20. They're going to pack in all the Republican voters into his district. Then down to Southern California. That's so we have Kylie, Valadeo, La Malfa, gone, 3 districts. Young Kim and Ken Calvert, they're basically going to take these 2 districts, as well as ICE's district, District 48, and they're going to merge 3 Republican seats into 1. So it's going to be a total of 5 districts will be eliminated in this redistricting scheme. So young Kim, Ken Calvert, and General Issa will have to fight over an uber super Republican district that will snake from Orange County to Riverside to perhaps touching a little bit of San Diego County, maybe, maybe not. They probably can gut Issa just by taking away his Riverside piece and shoving him more in San Diego County. And they plan to do that by layering in some of Scott Peters' district. So Issa's R+7. They'll probably take a little bit from Peters, a little bit from Sarah Jacobs to layer in some of the Democrat 16, Democrat 13 numbers into his R+7 district. And he's gone. That's how they're going to gerrymander. 5 of those Republicans gone. And that's a gerrymander. And a lot of these districts will have no recognizable community ties or geography basis to them. It's all based on politics. It is corrupt to the core. The politicians choosing the voters rather than the voters choosing the politicians. Look, we don't have to tolerate this crap. We'll be taking action to raise the legal challenges to Newsom's redistricting scheme, as I've just described. And there are other legal challenges coming down the pike by some of our coalition partners. But we also need to beat this scheme at the ballot box. And we do not have a lot of time. Ballots will be mailing out shortly. If it's a November 4th election, and it's going to be a November 4th election, ballots will arrive October 1st. That's in 7 weeks from now. So we desperately need you to sign up on the website, reformcalifornia.org, and chip in a contribution. Look, we could beat Newsom. Previous podcast, I went through the polling. We could beat Newsom, and we're going to go all in to beat Newsom, and how humiliating that will be for Gavin Newsom to lose a high-profile statewide election in his own blue state. His presidential campaign will be done, and it's so fitting that that be the end of him. But you're going to have to get off the couch and into the fight, and you have to get some of your friends into the fight as well. So go to the website, reformcalifornia.org, chip in a contribution, and sign up. Also, stay tuned to this show. Like and subscribe this video, subscribe to this channel so you get continual updates. Until next time, Carl DeMaio, Chairman of Reform California. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this episode. But before you click away, please subscribe to this channel and click that notification button so you get updated when we post new episodes. Plus, like this video and share it with your friends so that we can help spread our message across the state. Reform California with Carl DeMaio is paid for by Carl DeMaio for State Assembly.